Okay, go live.
Straight up.
We are live. Oh yeah.
Nothing is over!
I call a fucking show! We're just better than you!
It is going perfect.
Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat.
You're wrong.
Hey, fool, you ready for another beat? Should have never came back.
My name's Bella.
Put your fur boots on.
You think I'm fit to eat totally like you, eh? Trying to make the shit sound fucking authentic.
Let's see here a little more. I love this.
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world run wild on you?
Welcome to the Nothing Is Over podcast with me, your host Robert Kelly. How are we, gang? Oh, we've got some fucking stories this week. Since we last spoke, there's a lot of Trump. Yes, we're going to be covering a good bit of Trump. Some movie stuff, I guess. Kind of movie adjacent, leading on for Trump. By Ed Sheeran talk. He had that Netflix documentary kind of release thing. Very good, so I'll talk a wee bit about that. But first, a story came up from Ben Dreyfuss. Do we know who Ben Dreyfuss is? He is the son of legendary actor Richard Dreyfuss. Mr. Holland's Opus is class. No, the most obvious one you think of fucking Jaws, and who's the one who won an Oscar for the teacher ones, and Mr. fucking Goodbar, whatever that fucking movie was called. His son is a writer, and he's very prolific on Twitter, and he tweeted this little thread. Want to hear a funny story about Jack Nicholson? Why, of course. Who the fuck doesn't he? I'm bored, so I'm going to tell you a funny story about Jack Nicholson. My mom. Now, who is your mom? Your mom is Jeremy Rain. Okay, Jeremy Rain, and all I can find her in is Last House on the Left, and she was banging fucking Richard Dreyfuss. Continue, Ben. My mom is dating Jack Nicholson in the early 80s, and he starts getting all these letters and phone calls from a deranged fan. Seems Jack likes the bird called Jerry, doesn't he? Fucking Jeremy. Remember, who's that big blonde bitch, Mick Jagger? Jerry Hall. And Jack Nicholson is weirded out by it enough that everyone in the house is told not to engage with this crank woman who keeps calling and professing her love for him. My mom doesn't live with him but is staying over a lot, so is also aware of this. So one night, my mom, fucking mom, is over at his house, and there is a knock at the door, and there is some strange woman. Jack and my mum both quickly realise it is the crazy lady. She has come from Iowa or whatever to see him. She gets in the door, and they're in the living room while this nut job is explaining her love for him or whatever, and Jack tells my mum subtly to go into the kitchen and call for help. Call someone. Call the police. Call whoever. They need to get this woman out of here. How do you get that close to Jack Nicholson in the fucking 80s? Security that bad? How did she find his address? I get it these days with internet and stuff, but back then, was there a mail-away fan club that was just giving out his address? How the fuck did she know where he stayed? Did she follow him? This bitch is crazy. So my mum goes into the kitchen and makes a series of phone calls to his agent and assistant. I don't think the police were called, but she called lots of people to come and help. After about 5 minutes, she goes back in the living room and there is no one there. She's confused. She starts calling Jack's name. Jack, and eventually she goes upstairs, opens the bedroom door and finds the woman on her knees giving Jack Nicholson a blowjob. My mum is like, what the fuck? And what the fuck indeed? And starts screaming at the lady who spits Nicholson's prick out her mouth and is hurried out the door. My mum pushes out into the driveway and Jack Nicholson is putting his pants on, trailing behind her. My mum says, what is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? She's a stalker, and also I'm your girlfriend. I was calling for help. Jack Nicholson said,
look, she offered to give me a blowjob. I wasn't gonna say no.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've had my share of BJs. Not one of them would be worth breaking my word and making me out to be a liar to my girlfriend. Even crazy bitch BJ's only worth breaking your word as a man. And my mum broke up with him. The end. I mean, what the fuck, Jack? Are you just some fucking pleasure-seeking, depraved lunatic? This woman, that's your bird. That was your girlfriend. You was away helping you. I mean, what the fuck? What was going through that woman's mind? Ben Drivers is mad Jamie, and she's looking for him, probably thinking, what's happened? Is he alright? Is he alright? And you're like, aye, just the crazy stalker that she's been warned about is just on her knees giving him a blowy. Giving your boyfriend a blowy. What the fuck, Jack? What do you say? That's through the legend that he is. Oh, that's Jack, innit? That's Jack. Nah, that's just fucking depraved. These guys a fucking bad name. It's almost like the whole thing where women constantly say, oh, men are only as faithful as their options. That's pish. That's total pish. That's bad men. They just get into fucking being a pleasure seeker or just, it's a fucking depraved lifestyle. And as much as I love Jack Nicholson as an actor, it's not like I look up to him as a role model. Would a normal guy just be like, this crazy bitch just turned up at my door here, my bird's in the other room, fucking gives a blowy, alright, fuck it. I mean, don't you live in a world of consequences for your actions in your own self? Is there no guilt about that? Do you just no respect anybody, including yourself? That's fucking depraved, man. I don't like hearing stories like that because it just reinforces the fact that Hollywood is just full of disgusting vampires. Even the best of them are the worst.
Where's gays for Trump? You don't look good.
Got a lot to get to on old God Emperor Trump here. Fucking, he's had a busy old week. To follow up on our previous reporting of penile deformity on the last episode, we've got another one. Which leads into the God Emperor Trump. Jeffrey Epstein apparently had a strange wee bobby, much like Adolf Hitler. My conclusion being last week that I thought Adolf Hitler having a micro penis all of a sudden out of nowhere was a wee bit of the old propaganda. You know, controversial, but hey, we're balancing the scales. We've got Epstein. Last week, 80 years after his death, Adolf Hitler made headlines for a surprising reason. DNA analysis determined that he may have had a micro penis. I'm just reading off an article that is summarising our last reporting. The Nazi dictator was found to have a genetic disorder called Kalman syndrome, which we spoke about. The revelations of the dead man's anatomy keep coming in. In an interview this week, Jeffrey Epstein accuser Rena O claimed that the convicted pedo had an extremely deformed penis, which was probably like 2 inches fully erect. Oh, that's a rough one, isn't it? That is a rough one. She said that she was groomed by Epstein, made the remarks in a recent Substack interview. The 46-year-old said she didn't believe he was able to have penetrative sex because of his tiny neck. Some people have described it in the shape of an egg. Can you imagine? Looking down and seeing just a wee egg bobby. What? I think it was more the shape of a lemon, and it was really small when it was fully erect. Though she didn't call his appendage a micropenis, specifically her estimate of its size would land it in that category. So, you know, that balances the scales, right? Mossad agent Jeffrey Epstein, who totally fucking killed himself in jail, had a micropenis, so did Hitler, right? Are we even now? Are we even? And also, in all these leaks and stuff that came out along the same time as this, because it had been reported before about the fucking these wee funny bobby. I remember it at the time when Harvey Weinstein also, I mean, it's just a cadre of just the best guys with these deformed dicks. these are emails that were released from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which have fueled online speculation and conspiracy theories about Donald Trump's personal relationship with Epstein. Now, we know he knew him. He kicked him the fuck out of Mar-a-Lago when he was getting creepy, and Trump put one of his super fucking lawyers onto Epstein's case to fuck with him, to get him, because I think he messed out Trump in a business deal or something like that. So there was a cryptic 2018 email exchange that's been misinterpreted or sensationalized. However you fucking cut it. Somebody wrote in an email that Trump engaged in a bit of fellatio, a BJ, to a person called Bubba. Famously, we know Bill Clinton had that nickname. So, in these emails, who the fuck is sending these emails? It's for his brother, for Jeffrey Epstein's brother Mark. Okay, for the bro pedo. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Could he be blowing bubbles? This was part of a casual exchange about potential leverage or gossip, potentially referencing Vladimir Putin as a source of compromising material on the president. To me, I think it's a load of shite. Now again, I don't give a fuck about the sex lives of consenting adults. I don't care if Trump is gay. Who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck? The guy's hilarious. He's not a role model to me. He cheated on his fucking wife. He's that kind of guy. So I'm not going to look up to him as a person, as a man. But he's a fucking great president. He's a hilarious guy. There's never a day goes by where you don't hear about him. It is what it is, right? He's a very polarising figure. I understand that. But don't you think that in all of these years since he was president the first term, through the Biden administration, right up to now, he's been persecuted by the left. He's constantly tried to drag him down, so much so they invented Russiagate. They invented a whole scenario backed up by the Democratic Party, paid for in full, as complete hoax, bullshit, disinformation that Trump was in a hotel room pissing on hookers. Now, arguably, this here, if this is real, now we're being told this is real, Trump's on his knees blowing fucking Bill Clinton for Jeffrey Epstein and his brother's amusement, is arguably more salacious than Trump pissing on a Russian whore. So, if this was true, would this not have been leaked and come out years ago? Would we not have heard of this first? Because the lefties, the Dems, are always pushing about how the MAGA base is just all these xenophobic, homophobic, fucking racist, animal, retarded bastards. So, would they not love to have something like this where Trump's a gay guy? And they're like, look at your guy, look at your guy. They would have loved this. So I think it's a load of pish. But when you think about things, remember what Trump's entrance music is to his rallies? And the YMCA, homosexual anthem, YMCA, hey. He does the double dick suck dance. He does that really well. Who the fuck knows? Who knows?
Man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
Would you say the word faggot on camera?
All of a sudden, you speaking English now, huh?
A little.
A little my ass, you lied to me.
I didn't say I didn't. You assume I didn't.
Assume I kick your little Beijing ass right now, man. I ain't scared of you. I know you know that little tricky shit. Come on.
Rush Hour 4 has been greenlit at Paramount after push from President Donald Trump. What fucking crazy timeline are we living in? Paramount is teaming up with Warner Brothers to distribute. Brett Ratner, who coincidentally just made a documentary about Melania that gets sold for I don't know how many fucking tens of millions to Amazon, he will return to direct. And of course, Brett Ratner kind of disgraced the director because of the whole Me Too movement. Here's a little interesting tidbit. Jeffrey Epstein once wrote to a confidant, so many guys getting caught in the Me Too reaching out to me asking when does the madness stop. To another he wrote, Brett Ratner now, Oy vey. Mr. Epstein was referring to film director and producer who had stepped away from a $450 million deal with Warner Brothers after Los Angeles Times reported on allegations made against him by 6 women. And then Ratner just has kind of come back now recently with the Melania Trump documentary. So it all kind of fits. There's a wee kind of cabal in there, isn't there? All of a sudden, Trump's like, I may have been blowing Bubba for Epstein. Epstein's pals with Ratner. I don't know, do a green light Rush Hour 4 hoping that this blowjob photo Disney come out? Oh, it's strange pawns to play in this game, by the way. I'm not a big Rush Hour fan. I'm happy, I guess, that kind of style of film's coming back, but to me it's just going to look the same as every fucking Netflix movie. The new Beverly Hills Cop movie looked the same. The new Coming to America movie, which Ratner was going to do, I think he was going to direct the revival of Beverly Hills Cop at one point. But all these movies all just look the same. They just fucking sludge. They just look shit, and it's just going to look like that anyway. So it's not like we're going to be getting back a Rush Hour for back in the day, which I would be very happy about. Even though when they came out, I was like, ugh, I've seen this 100 million fucking times. I did not know how lucky I was, considering the shite we get now. But that is all over the shot this week, Trump. You're all over the place. And of course, there's the serious news, the piece of serious news. I'm just going to play a little bit of...
2 guardsmen in D.C. were shot today by an Afghan national who entered the U.S. in 2021 as part of Joe Biden's Operation Allies Welcome. The Afghani's permission to be in the U.S. expired in September, so he's now in the country illegally. His name is Ramanullah Lakhanwal, according to CBS News. And as he shot the 2 guardsmen, he screamed Allahu Akbar, which means God is great in Islam. This atrocious act is being investigated as terrorism.
So it is a legitimate terror attack. Is this going to pull America back into a war again? Serious shit happening. Just I really can't comment on anything like that, because what the fuck do you say? At least the 2 guys only dead. At least they're surviving. So hope to God the guardsmen pull through and we figure out what the fuck this terrorism thing is across the Western world. I've been seeing a lot of these guardrails getting put up around about Glasgow, around about, the Christmas markets and stuff, the diversity guards. Shocking stuff. Shocking stuff. Wait, we started talking about movies there and we didn't even hit the fucking jingle.
What would you like to do now?
Go to the movies.
All right.
We've got a little announcement about the forthcoming Heat 2. Oh my god, I have fucking problems with this. I'm not for Heat 2 at all. I'm looking at a giant Heat poster that has adorned that wall for close to 15 years. It's one of my favourite movies. I grew up just being a crazy maniac Pacino De Niro fan. Finally, they're put together. And not a lot of screen time together, but magnetic as it fucking is incredible. The coffee shop scene, one of the greatest scenes in cinema history. Of course, I'm not fucking telling you anything you don't know. It's a classic movie. It went from being a really great cops and robbers cat and mouse thriller to being a bona fide fucking modern classic in 95. 30 years old. And all of a sudden, Michael Mann, who is ramping up production, it's going into production next year for Heat 2, based on his book, of which he wrote a couple of years ago now, 3 years ago. I was fine with it being in a novel form, but as soon as he started saying, I've got plans to make it a movie, and no, fucking, then he's talking about AI, so everybody's thinking, is Pacino and De Niro going to come back? Is he going to be like The Irishman? Like, no, there's a new cast. Now, Heat itself is a remake of an earlier Michael Mann film called LA Takedown. We all know who Michael Mann is. I'm just talking like you fucking don't know. The inventor of Miami Vice, most famously, I guess. which is itself getting a reboot. He directed the movie version with fucking, what's his fuck? Jamie Foxx playing Tubbs and Colin Farrell playing Crockett. I loved that. I love the director's cut of it. Great boat shots and all that shit. It's fucking perfect second part of the career Michael Mann. Two very distinct looks of Michael Mann movies. There's a real divide, and it comes with digital video, and this is what I'm talking about. Heat sits directly in the first camp of Michael Mann being the film auteur, right? The film grain, just staring into the night of fucking Chicago, LA, the neon lights, but a real tangible look about it. And then along comes digital video. What was his first foray into digital video? Looking at the filmography, it seems Heat is the divide. It's the two different styles. Heat, even though it had some Steadicam shots, especially in like the greatest shootout scene ever, it was a traditional studio-looking film. Right after that, in '99, he did The Insider, which I believe was filmed on film, but I'm sure there was fucking digital photography in there as well, because it had this new Michael Mann look, this over-the-shoulder stuff, kind of cinema verite documentary style. But I think, in looking at it here, it's looking like it was shot in Super 35mm. I think it, but it was, that was the start of the look that he then, I believe, perfected with Collateral a couple of movies later. Ali was the same, very kind of, documentary style. And I love that, the way Michael Mann does it, where period pieces like Ali, based in the 60s and 70s, has a very stately look about it usually. It's a very framed, deliberate look, so you can get all the fucking background in, and the kind of that makes it of the period. But Mann is like, we dress everything for real, and we just grab the camera and we fucking run and gun, and I love that. But Collateral was the first time he used digital, and that was incredible, because I think he was experimenting with the Mercedes-Benz advert that he did with Clive Owen. Do we remember them? They were fucking great. But he was experimenting with that there, and then Collateral comes out, and it is unreal. It looks like nothing else you've ever seen. You can just stare right into the fucking LA nighttime. His cinematography in it's just beautiful. It looks incredible. Miami Vice, the same. Public Enemies, I love Public Enemies, but that's a bit jarring because it's very period for the fucking 20s, and you're getting that kind of shaky style about it. But going back and revisiting again, I love it. I do love Public Enemies, but here's the thing. He has a look about it. And this new one, we're in the second part of the fucking divide of what Michael Mann's movies look like. Ferrari was not very good, to be honest. I don't really like Ferrari very much, but that was a mix of both. It kind of had this stately look about it, but also in the driving shots and shit, or the CGI. Ugh. But Heat 2 is not going to be a reimagining of the story or anything. It is a direct sequel. And we have got people playing the fucking parts that De Niro and Pacino played. And it looks like it could be DiCaprio, and fucking Adam Driver's been mentioned, Austin Butler, who's been heavily mentioned as the Val Kilmer part. I would think it would be DiCaprio playing De Niro's part in it. Adam Driver maybe then Pacino. I don't know, he's like fucking 7 feet tall in Pacino. But now we've got Christian Bale in the mix. And that's an interesting one, because he's a fucking amazing actor. He worked with Mann on Public Enemies. There's not much really known about how the film is going to be adapted. It will probably be based on the book that Mann wrote, which takes place before the 95 film. A couple of pieces during it, like adjacent to what we already saw, and then afterwards. It's a huge movie, and he's like 82 years old. I don't want him to fuck his legacy of potentially his best movie. I think it's probably his best movie. Manhunter's amazing. I fucking love all his movies. One of my top 5 favourite directors of all time. But he's special because it brought De Niro and Pacino together. And I don't want to see anybody else playing the fucking parts. As great an actor as DiCaprio is, he ain't De Niro in fucking 95. Adam Driver isn't even close to Pacino in 95. Austin Butler couldn't lace Val's shoes ever, let alone Val in fucking 95 at the top of his game. Ugh, I'm depressed about this because it's going to have a modern look, even if it is Michael Mann doing it. And I'm going to be watching it think, I just want to go and watch the original Heat again, and that's no the point. It'll be fucking 3.5 hours long, who knows. They might even turn it into a Netflix show or some shit. And they're in production. Apparently they've got a ton of money back as a tax rebate, so they're filming it in LA, so at least it's going to have the same locations. But is man going to have a dick hard enough as a director to give us a muscular sequel to a crime classic, or is it just going to be a limp old man version of something that I once fucking loved so much that he's ruined? Please, Michael Mann, don't ruin Heat. Don't fucking do it.
You all good? Right, thanks, man. We're filming this one-shot concert special.
A Netflix special.
Which I think will be super lovely.
From the director of Adolescence. Okay. 1 hour in New York City. Ed Sheeran just fucking about New York. One continuous shot. No redos. One global icon. Icon? Alright. Not against Ed. I love it about it. There's a wee bit where he's stuck in an elevator with a wee Asian man. He should have just farted. Music experience, yes, there we go. I watched it, and it was cracking. I fucking couldn't fault it. Directed by the guy who made Adolescence, which famously is a continuous shot, and he needed the practice on Adolescence for that, because there is a shot in that movie. Now, first of all, it's Ed Sheeran doing a gig in New York, and the movie opens up with him at soundcheck, and then he just gets doing after the soundcheck thing and decides to take a trip around New York in a big circle to end up back at the gig to play the gig. And along the way, he does things like plays songs in a taxi, plays songs on a bus, plays songs to a couple that are getting engaged. It's really good. It's a great idea, and it looks amazing, but there's a fault. And this is no trying to shit on it or nothing like that, of course, because the guy is fucking super talented, Ed Sheeran, and the dude that did Adolescence, whatever his fucking name is. There's a shot in it, and I saw them do this kind of shot in Adolescence and the behind the scenes stuff, and it is handheld camera clipped onto a drone, and then the drone takes away. It's, you know, the planning that goes into doing something like that. And in this, Ed is up some fucking high-rise building in New York at some fancy rich person's birthday party, and he's singing a wee song. And the camera follows him all the way up, obviously. And he goes through the crowd, and he's on the stage. The background looks fake as fuck, but it's real. I think this is just the Netflix effect to everything. But it's really, he's up there really fucking high on a platform, right? The camera just goes right off a cliff, basically. It just goes right out into the fucking mid-air and floats all the way down and meets Ed and loads of people back down on the street. It's an amazing shot. It's fucking Honestly, the guy's arse must have been gone, the camera operator on that drone, because if that drone moved a wee bit, you're fucking the shot, camera could fall off. And the amount of practice that must have went into this is insane. I read it was 3 different times they did it. I thought I saw a couple of stitches in it. I thought I saw a couple of times where they just covered up with just looking at fucking trees and then came back down again to the back edge. He'd have thought, is that a cut there? Is that where they cut the thing? But they're gone with the story that it was all entirely one shot. They did it 3 times and they just picked the best one. It's very, very impressive. I like Ed Sheeran's songs. Fucking shoot me. I like the guy. But this was a great experiment in like a concert film, because it's just him with his acoustic guitar, and I swear the thing that must fucking drive him nuts, and he's such a nice guy, is that he's got the acoustic guitar everywhere and he's just walking along New York singing his own wee fucking songs. Everybody comes up for a selfie. Everybody. Literally every New Yorker that is within a fucking 10-mile radius must run towards him for a selfie. It's constant phones up to faces the whole fucking time. Oh, could you imagine living life like that, where as soon as you go out in public, there's just cunts running up to you and putting a phone in your face, and he's just smiling the whole time. He takes time for everybody. At the end of it, he must go, fucking these people, man. I know they've made me so much money, but I can't do another fucking selfie. It's fucking infuriating. But he goes right down into the subway. He gets stuck on a bus at one point and they fast forward the movie. I thought it was pretty good and inventive. Great. I absolutely fucking loved it. Love watching it, and his music's pretty good too. Which brings us to our second part of our wee Ed Sheeran review of the week, which was, for some reason, I don't know why, on Netflix. I decided to watch yesterday because one of my favourite directors, another guy in my top 5, Danny Boyle, and I'd never seen this movie for Danny Boyle. Let's fucking run the trailer.
Biggest star in the world, as if by magic. How did you get here?
Do you genuinely not know who the Beatles are?
Who?
How am I the only person in the world who remembers the Beatles?
Wait a minute, did I see a blush there? Was there...
Can I do this?
Mr. Jack Nicholson!
Anyway, that's enough, right? I'm sure we all know what the story of yesterday was. A mysterious blackout happens, and this wee struggling singer-songwriter guy who busks for gigs and shit, it realises he's the only person in the world that remembers the Beatles. The Beatles have been wiped off the fucking face of the earth after a blackout. Okay, let's go with it. And he decides to palm off all the Beatles songs as his own, becomes famous, gets a record deal. Ed Sheeran notices him, puts him on his label, fucking tours. He opens for Ed Sheeran, he's pretty good in this as well, Ed Sheeran. I love Danny Boyle, and I'm watching, is this going to be another Slumdog? I really liked Slumdog, thought it was pretty good. Like a wee bit of fantasy element mixed with the real, and I was no buying it. I'm not a Beatles fan. Fuck the Beatles. Beatles are shite. Don't like the Beatles. I liked them for about 6 months when I was 15 years old. And after that, I was like, right, got it. Discovered Bob Dylan, thought, right, Beatles don't need you. Fuck you. There's see when they're doing something like this, a movie like this, which is literally sci-fi, when you think about it, you need to set up the rules of the world. Throughout the course of the movie, the performances were all good and stuff like that. The script was nice. Richard Curtis, very fucking, schmaltzy and all that. But we discover that the Beatles has been wiped off. Cigarettes have been wiped. And, spoiler alert at the end, I don't know, Harry Potter doesn't exist either. Why? Why they 3 things? Are there more things? Can we explore that a wee bit? Say, what the fuck happened? Just a blackout? Just we see an establishing shot of the earth just going into fucking darkness and just all the lights all go out, then they come back up again. That's it. That's what was it that happened? The whole movie, I'm wondering, are they going to explain what the fuck is happening here? How do we go back to normal? And then throughout the movie we discover there's another two people, like a Russian guy and a bird for Coronation Street. They also remember the Beatles. And throughout the whole movie there's a kind of, I don't know, like a doom as they keep turning up at places. And you think, oh, they know. They're like government people or something. They're aliens or something. But nah, they're just two other people that also remember the Beatles. I'm like, really? And then they'll say, like, the Beatles music is just like, so it's good to hear the music again. It's just good to hear the songs again. I wanted to see more of him trying to remember the Beatles songs because they're finite. He's going to run out and he's going to have to get to his own songs at one point if he's going to have a career as a musician. And there's going to seem like a bit of a drop in quality when he starts playing his own shit. And he didn't spend enough time doing that, saying, let's have a good scene of him trying to like fucking, oh, what was the fucking lyrics to that Sgt. Pepper again? What's the lyrics to fucking whatever the fuck the song is? Because try it yourself. It's so difficult to just, after the dome, remember a song without having to go and look up and then listen to it first. Like, you need to listen to it first, then you can fill the rest of it in. But just after the dome, when you've got nothing to work off it, it's super hard. And he's out there recording fucking albums full of Beatles songs. He's remembered them all. And then, but they did say in one scene, like, he got the order of some song mixed up. I'm like, all right, that's a throwaway. Okay. But these scenes would be more interesting. Him trying to figure it out and then somebody coming in and catching him. It's like, in the love story, the bird was her cooking Lily James, played Pamela Anderson. She's turned up in a few things recently. She's alright. Yeah, it was fine. The Ma and Da were fun. They were fun, kind of the usual comic relief. Fucking Ma and Da didn't give a fuck about Ed Sheeran, didn't care that he was in the other house or anything like that, just wants cake and stuff. Like, kind of a part that usually annoys me, you know, the irritating, useless father figure, which is fucking dumb and unreal, but movies will make you believe it's real. But this was alright, wasn't too bad. That Danny Boyle, I expect more for Danny Boyle because he has made legitimately some of the best movies ever. And now he's in a thing where I thought, oh, well, you know, I'm sure he's a big Beatles fan. This is a kind of smaller movie. I want to see some inventiveness for him, but it was just kind of flat for a lot of it. Sorry, Danny boy. I was not a fan of Yesterday. Maybe if I loved the Beatles, I would be more invested in it. But there was only one good Beatle, George Harrison. All Things Must Pass is better than any Beatles album, better than any album any of the other Beatles ever made. Fucking Paul McCartney is boring, John Lennon's a dirty communist, and Ringo Starr is retarded. So it's just George Harrison. Make a movie about when George Harrison's music disappears. Maybe I would give a fuck, but I don't give a fuck that Revolver doesn't exist, and I don't give a fuck that the White Album doesn't exist. It didn't make me give a fuck. And then I'm thinking to myself, right, so that doesn't exist. Would Ed Sheeran's songs not sound a bit different? Because as much as I don't like the Beatles, I see how influential they are. Nothing else has changed in culture. Was that not maybe a more interesting thing to kind of explore? How culture has changed now the Beatles don't exist, for other shit to kind of take inspiration for. Like, surely the La's wouldn't exist. Would Oasis exist? Would Britpop exist? These are all big British cultural moments that I'm like, okay, so just the Beatles just don't exist, but everything else happened exactly the same. Nobody smokes. That's because you're in a working class place telling a working class story. People would be smoking cigarettes, and they can't have that in movies, so they thought, oh, not just the Beatles we forgot, but we forgot smoking as well. And then at the end, we're just flinging Harry Potter. Fucking no rhyme and reason there. Anyway, there you go. There's a couple of wee Ed Sheeran things. Check out the one-shot music experience on Netflix. It's cracking. Even if you don't like his music, just to watch how one hour long, excuse the accent, folks, a 1 hour long continuous shot on a big circle around New York, taking in buses and subways and music venues, high-rise flats, how they do it all with ingenuity and just fucking amazing planning. Just fantastic. For that alone, go watch it. So anyway,
I can't hear the song because you're singing over it like a genius.
End of the show, my gangsters. Thank you very much for making it this far. I do appreciate it, as always. And now, to sing it out, we have an absolute wee belter. A ballad. A lovely little Americana number, if you will, from a local boy. Released in the year of our Lord, 2023. However, this song, I have it on good authority, comes from before that, and it was piled into this wee EP of sorts from Stephen Michael Maguire. We have the lovely, sublime Rosanna. Hit it, Stevie boy. Let's go. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? You can take your horse to the water, you can't make it drink. Show a man a million things, and you can't tell him what to think. You could walk a mile in someone's shoes, and still you'll never know. Only push it so far before you find yourself alone. Rosanna, I don't wanna be your fool. Oh, fucking great, man. What a song. Rosanna, I can't live here by your road. Rosanna, I just want somebody tonight. Fuck all these new pretenders doing all this country shit for Scotland. This is real country. This is it, right here. You could get a slave to serve you. You can't tell them how to act. You can drive out nature with a knife, but it just keeps coming back. You could offer prayers to heaven from guidance from above. You could have a world full of money, it still can't buy your love. Oh, go Rosanna, baby. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. See you soon.